All right, we're back, everyone, talking about a big problem that is throughout the country in the hospitality industry, and that is substance abuse. Not just alcohol, but other substances. We're talking about drugs and some very dangerous drugs as well, as we will talk more about. Jamie Pruett is our guest tonight. He is one of the co-founders, or co-chairs, I should say, of Ben's Friends. Now, this is, as you mentioned, it's a national group, started in Charleston. Just 3 weeks ago, opened here in Nashville. Tell me about the genesis of this. Obviously, Nashville seems like, yeah, we need a group like this. How did it start, and what do you offer, and how are you getting the word out?
Absolutely. So I got sober 4 years ago.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Hasn't always been easy, but it's always been worth it. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
And I remember having a real struggle with, could I maintain my sobriety and stay in an industry that I loved with all my heart.
By the way, how long have you been in the industry? And
Almost 15 years now. I was a line cook for years, and was able to kind of move into the baking and pastry side of things, and really found my niche and my deep passion of bread baking.
Okay.
And that's what I do here in Nashville. I'm a bread baker.
Awesome.
It is. I really enjoy it. But I struggled with, you know, my sobriety being the most important thing to me, and could I maintain that and still do a job and function in a career that I deeply love and am very passionate about. And I really weighed that for some time, like, can I do both? And I wasn't sure. And I remember hearing about Ben's Friends back in early 2020, and it just felt like someone throwing me another lifeline.
Right.
You know, almost 2 years into sobriety at the time, I hear about this organization that's specifically focused on people who do the kind of work that I do in my industry, and they're open about being in recovery and being sober and talking candidly about the struggles and the triumphs and the challenges of being sober in hospitality. And unfortunately, shortly thereafter, the pandemic hit, the entire world turned upside down, but I never forgot about it.
Right.
And a few months ago, I reached out via the Ben's Friends website, and very quickly heard back from Mickey, one of our co-founders, and just explained, like, hey, I'm here in Nashville, I'm in this industry, I'm sober, it's a unique struggle, and I know I can't be the only one. And he was very quick to connect me with a few other people who had that same desire to help our industry, and got us all together, and we were like, yeah, let's bring this incredible community to our community. Like, Nashville needs this.
What do you offer?
For me,
someone contacts Ben's Friends, said, hey, I need some help.
The biggest thing for me that I've found in Ben's Friends is a sense of community. That's really what it is for me. It's just knowing that I'm among people who, one, love our industry, and two, want to stay sober and be in our industry, and to help others who face and have faced the same challenges, and to let people know you're not alone in this. There are those of us who know how you feel, who have been where you are, and I promise it's possible.
Well, you talked too about, and I remember, the camaraderie that you share with people you're working with. Long days, you're working side by side, helping each other out. It's teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
In the business.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same thing when you're having that post-drink, post-shift drink or whatever.
Yeah.
That camaraderie. At the same time, I would think that would put someone a little more at ease, knowing these are my people.
Exactly.
You know, like, I can relate and I can trust these people and go to them and say, hey, help me out here.
Exactly.
So meetings, is that what you offer?
Yes. So we're meeting every Monday at 11 a.m. at Oak Steakhouse right downtown. Those doors are open to anyone in our industry that wants what we have to offer, even if you're just curious and thinking, maybe I should give this whole cutting back or quitting drinking a shot. Like, and you just want to see what it's like.
So
we're here for you.
Is it a table? You go sit at a table? I don't know. Are they open for lunch at that time?
No,
they're not
this
open.
Is before the restaurant
just quiet.
opens.
The restaurant, other restaurant workers are getting ready, and you all can go sit at a table, sit around, and How do you lead the conversation?
Well, generally we'll open with a brief snippet about what Ben's Friends is and what we hope to accomplish. We're a community of hospitality industry professionals who have found or are seeking sobriety in a very stressful industry with high risk, high reward, and you can be sober and continue to work in this industry. And that's what we're here to talk about, is what that's like. One of the things that I really like that Mickey told me in one of our first conversations was Ben's Friends is not a replacement for traditional recovery or for therapy or treatment. It's a bridge to that. It's an introduction to the sober lifestyle.
And a way to encourage.
Exactly. To encourage and support one another.
So how do you get the word out? You're just 3 weeks. Obviously, hopefully this will help. Folks watching will spread the word. We're just a few weeks into this. You go straight through social media, reach out, tell everybody, tell your friends in the business. Do you go to the restaurant and hotel ownership? All of the above?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above. And it's been really encouraging to see the support from the community as word began to spread. We've got the Ben's Friends social media presence. They started announcing that this was going to be happening in Nashville. Different restaurant owners, chefs, restaurateurs began to reach out like, hey, how can we help? What can we do to get the word out? Right. And it's been great to see pure word of mouth.
Why do you think so many people immediately, the light bulb, yes, like you said, yes, this, and other, they put you in touch with a couple of other, it's just makes sense right away. Is it because it is apparently so prevalent, rampant really, and perhaps everyone in the business kind of maybe knows somebody or knows of somebody, or maybe themselves, who have struggled?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, because reliance on substances is not just normalized, it's kind of almost expected to an extent in the industry. I don't think we realize how prolific it is until someone points it out, and then it's that thing that's just been staring you in the face the whole time. It's like, oh, it's so common that we don't notice it until it's called out.
All right, we're going to get to the phones real quick because Mike has been holding patiently, and we really appreciate it. Mike, thanks for holding. Go ahead, you're on.
Hey, good evening, Rhori, and good evening to your guest, Jamie, as well. First of all, blessings to you, Jamie, and your sobriety. And I no longer drink anymore. I've decided that it wasn't progressive for me at the time. But congratulations on that. I think it's kind of hard to not be working in the hospitality industry, and this is primarily pertaining to restaurant industry. When you have a word about that you're not making enough money, that you may be kicked out of your apartment the next day, that's just going to bring stress from home, personal life, into the work environment. There's no way around it. You've got waitresses and waiters, servers now, that have kids. They got child care. They're already thinking about they got to get off, go pick up the kid, give them some food, pay the, whoever they got to pay. And it's a stressful, you add that on to the already stressful environment of working in hospitality. This is another thing. What's happening, this is how I found out about a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I used to play music at this bar. And basically, when you pack up all your gear, you really get to see people when they are starting to wire back down to normal.
Yeah.
And you see the stress. And basically, what a lot of people out here are using Adderall to get that up feeling to where they can be like, yeah. The bartenders really like it because they want to. Bartenders is almost like a circus actor. People go there expecting upbeat, make me feel better.
100%.
And we need to give them give them the adequate pay and make sure these companies are paying these people the correct pay and make them, if they're not, get organized, form a union, and deserve the employee program rights that you should have and everybody should have in the workforce. And you guys have a good night.
Hey, good points. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Very much. It just reminded me when I was actually training servers at one point at a restaurant years ago, and I told them, I used the analogy because at one point there was a workstation with the doors going into the kitchen right there, and when the doors opened, you could hear them. They were loud and talking, and some tables that were right there. And I told them, I said, this zone, and I put tape down, like yellow tape. If you get past this yellow tape, you're on stage. Yes. That is your stage, and that even means behind the doors. As soon as you come through those doors and in this area, you're on stage. You have to prefer. You're selling. Yes. You are upselling. Absolutely. You want to get tips. You want to get that bill as high as you can, and be on the move. So there's that. It's almost like a performance.
100%.
And you've got to be on. Now, what he mentioned, Adderall, Ritalin, uppers. There are downers. There's so many drugs, and there's also fentanyl now, which is just a scourge into all aspects of life, and it's killing people. So it's really important that folks have some lifelines.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Mike made a really great point. All of those stressors, especially the financial stresses that come with especially, my friends in the front of the house in hospitality, where their well-being is entirely dependent on the generosity of the person that they're serving at a given moment.
That's right.
And over the course of a night. And that financial stress and sense of insecurity and doubt about well-being is absolutely a contributing factor. I mean, that can feel, and I know this from my own personal experience, not necessarily front of the house, but just the financial insecurity, especially starting out in this industry, of am I going to be able to pay my bills? And just for me, in my experience, it was I can't stand how this feels, and I just need this to go away. I can't change the circumstance.
So vulnerable.
But I'm going to change how I feel about it, and this is all I know to do to change how I feel.
All right, we're going to talk more. We're going to take another break, everybody, and we hope to hear more from you. 737 Plus. We'll be right back.